Hello, it's Edwina from My Craft Orchard. How are you? So we're up to Q4 and we're going to have a look at my Kanban book. Now, for those of you who haven't seen any of my previous Kanban book videos, let me just recap. I don't plan my quarters the same as the conventional way. I don't do January, February, March, April, May, June. I actually start my year in February, so I do February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, and now this one that I'm looking at here is November, December and January. And there are several reasons for that. The first one is you don't have to follow the conventional months. You can start your year whenever you want to. You know, at the end of the day, you're planning for 3 months and you're going to try and get as much done in those 3 months as you can. You don't have to have Q1, 2 or 3. It could just be, you know, the months. The other reason is, particularly, for instance, January, I have a lot of work in terms of like VAT returns and finances that have to be done for my business. And secondly, I'm rubbish at New Year's resolutions. You know, if I say, oh yeah, I'm going to join the gym. I'm going to go to the gym twice a week and it's January. So first of all, there's Christmas chocolate still in the house, so forget that. Here in the UK, the weather is rubbish. You get snow, you get ice, you get cold, wet, rainy days. It's dark by 4 o'clock. Who wants to go to the gym then? I certainly don't. No motivation whatsoever. So by starting in February, at least I've had a chance to sort of get over that bad weather situation and things. It also gives me a chance to actually think about my resolutions and what I want to achieve in the coming year. So let's have a look at Q4. I have been sent this 2020 vision, Your Best Life Focus by the BestSelf. And I was given this for free. They never asked me to review it. They haven't asked anything of it. They just offered it to me for free. I thought as a courtesy, I'd have a look at it and I would review it for them. You know me, I like new things. And again, with most things, most handouts and all those sort of things, some of it I can use and some of it I don't think there's any point to. Let me show you. So I was sent this on a PDF and I've printed it out, and it is quite a large document. There is, have I got page numbers? There is, that was definitely 51, 59, so there's probably about 70 pages or something like that. I haven't printed them all out, but it is a workbook, and it starts with a welcome from the lady who wrote it, Catherine Lavery. I'm sorry if I've said that wrong. And there's lots of things about focusing and that sort of thing, and there's an idea of checklists and how long these different activities would take, and I quite like that. And you basically look at your past, your present, your future, an action section and a accountability structure and planning and things like that. So the first section is about reflection, so you're looking at about, you know, 10 years past. So this one started in 2012 and ended in 21. So they ask you to look at various things for those past years to learn from the past, I'm assuming. So then you've got an annual audit, and you're supposed to do this at the beginning of a year. Obviously I was given this halfway through the year, so I just basically started it in, you know, when I got it. And I've looked at the big picture, highlights of the past, things I like, lows of the past, relationships I've had, you know, who's in my life, who isn't, things I would like, I've learned and want to change for work, career, and that sort of thing, experiences, favourite things. I did like that page actually. It isn't until you actually start writing down what your favourite things are that you actually think, oh, you know what, yeah, do like that. Then section 2 is about now. Like I say, the idea of this is you do this at the beginning of the year because it's all focused on 2022. But you can use these sheets year after year. And as you know, I do like a self-score. I do like the life wheel. Slightly less sections than I would choose, but I have filled it out. This is always a good idea. I always like this, and I'm going to go back to using a life wheel. I haven't used that for the last sort of 6 months or so, but I'm going to go back to using one of these, I think. And then areas of focus that need to be worked on, time versus problems, so some advice, behaviours that might be stopping you do things, and lots of, it's a worksheet, you work through it, you answer the questions, and you know, some of this is great, and some of it I've filled in and things I haven't. Limiting beliefs, not sure about that, to be honest. I don't know whether limiting beliefs is such a good thing, because surely there shouldn't be any limits. You are what you are, you think what you think, you believe what you believe. Things can change, so why are they limited? I don't know. I'm not sure about that bit anyway. Obstacles versus gap space. I like that bit. I do like that. To identify, you know, what is the obstacle that's stopping you getting to where you want to be. And then it says identifying your limiting beliefs. Again, not really happy. That's probably why I haven't filled that bit out, to be honest. Affirmations. I'm not really a big affirmation person, to be honest. But I can see where they're going with you. You've got your limiting belief and then the positive affirmation. So you're trying to change the belief into something positive. I can see the process of that, absolutely. But I think because I'm such a positive person anyway, you know, if it's there, if ever I needed it, was feeling a bit low or down, I suppose I could do that. So there's visualisation. So the future, the visualisation. This is what we're gonna achieve from today onwards, you know. And so there's a bit of a lesson of pacing and life domains and things, you know, a bit more. And again, I haven't filled this out purely because I've run out of time. But some of these I do naturally anyway, if that makes sense. You know, what are the activities during a regular week that ensures you master your work, pushes the needle on big rocks? Well, the truth is that's why I do my Kanban board, and that's why I have projects, because that's, you know, that's how I do that. So I haven't filled all of this out, in all fairness. Then what else have we got? A letter to yourself, a new you. Can have some benefits, particularly if you want a conversation with yourself. I'll just have a conversation with you on camera. Bucket list, again, this is for 2022. I like that idea. I definitely like that idea for the beginning of a year. So I might adopt a bucket list for 23, I think. So I'm going to take that idea forward, I think. Okay. And 5 years from today, again, I like that page. Something I would do at the end of the year. So the second, the last version is your vision, and this is the action plan. And this is a section that I like, and I'm going to go through some of this with you today. It talks about goals and using SMART goals for your planning. And this is the page that I'm going to go through, and there's actually 3. I think part of my problem, and I'm going to talk to you about this in a minute, part of my problem is I actually set too many goals per quarter. Simple as that. I tend to try and have something for each section. Well, I need to think about maybe combining some of those projects, those goals into one, so that there's not so much to do. I think I'm into sort of reducing everything at the moment. So I'm going to take one of those out because we're going to have a look at that. So you've got the outcome goals. So there's just 3, and then there's a habit tracker for each month. Brain download. Now I do like that. I like that page that they've included the brain download, and then they also include sort of weekly sheets and a weekly planning. So you've got your days, like on a week, so you've got your daily there, and then you've also got a week, top 3 objectives, tasks. These are the sort of things I put into my bullet journal or my happy planner, whichever I'm using anyway. So I've just printed out an example, and then she's also got the month, and then there's a section at the bottom for priorities and things for the month ahead. And also, which I always like, plenty of note paper. So there's lots of dot grid paper at the end. As a workbook, it's long. There's a lot of work in here, I think, but I can see why you would go through this. I mean, I went through this the first time, and I felt it took me a long time, I felt, to go through this and have a good look and fill out the sheets. But if I was coming back to this in 2023, having done it in 22, it would be less. It would be easier to do the second year round, and definitely the third year, because you've already completed this past section at the front with all of those things in, and what you've learned. You could go back and just redo the questions for the last 12 months and just do that yearly, use them for that yearly review. So yeah, I think it was a little bit long-winded the first time, but going forward I could see that I could use this on a yearly basis. I think she dates them for every year. So there was a 21, this is the 22 which she gave me, and I'm sure there'll be the 23. I will link all the details below of where to find it, how to download it, and all of those sort of things. But for me personally, there are sections in this workbook I can use. There are sections that I personally didn't gel with the way I think or the way I plan, and also because I use a separate planner, I don't necessarily need all of the planner pages that are in here. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you. So I've had a look at that, and I'm going to use this. Now again, by looking at that, I've sort of had a thought about my plans. And it would help if I could find there we go, November. I've had a thought, about how to sort of set up my quarter. So there you go. I actually already printed one out. Look, took that out of the back and printed one out already. So I'm thinking I'm just going to do 3 goals for the quarter. Maybe have one. I could do one a month, or have the 3 running for the 3 months. I'm not sure. One of them will definitely be Christmas, obviously, which I thought we'd have a look through and plan now. As far as my Kanban tasks for last month, let me just give you a heads up. That is all I achieved in 3 months. Total and utter disaster in terms of productivity, in terms of planning. If you've seen any of my previous videos on my planning during the whole of August and most of September, No planning was done. I didn't fill out my happy planner. I didn't fill out a bullet journal. I was in a total and utter planner funk. Nothing was getting done. The brain wasn't working or anything. And so that's reflected in my Kanban book and what I've actually managed to do. These are all things that I've had to do to keep functioning my family and my business. There's no extra stuff here. So what I am going to do is look at the future, the next 3 months. So I'm going to look at November, December and January, and I'm going to sort of say what's got to be done. So Christmas obviously will have to be done. December is a total washout in terms of this, again, purely because it's my busy period. September, October, November are my busy periods for my business. Come December, I've got mine and my husband's birthdays plus Christmas, all those Christmas activities with the schools, family to me, plans for Christmas to make, and all those sort of things. In terms of other things, it's a total washout. And then after Christmas, you tend to sit down and look at the next year's planning. So I don't expect a lot of these next 3 months. These are not my most productive months. The weather here in the UK, as I said, is dark, it's miserable. I don't want to do a lot. Sit in front of the telly with hot cocoa. Right. So that's what I achieved, which was not a lot. Which means all of my sections, my home, my craft orchard personal, and Daisy Craft and my writing have still got post-it notes on them, as you can see. Going from the 2020 vision planner, there are definitely 2 things I've decided I'm going to do. So the first one is going to be Christmas. So on the top of this one, I'm going to write an outcome goal of, and again, it has to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. She's, looking at the SMART goals, which is, I always have a trouble trying to fit those in. I don't know whether it's because I don't 100% understand them, or I just need to do more thinking on the smartness of the goal, if that makes sense. Anyway, so the outcome would be to have a stress-free Christmas, relax and enjoy family time. Because for me, Christmas is all about family. It's all about trying to have a rest and a relax at the end of the year. So that's my first outcome goal. A second one, which I'll write on the back for now, is to I've decided I'm going to complete all of these outstanding tasks. I'm not going to set myself any new tasks. Now you're thinking, well, yeah, it's the end of the year, nothing much is going to get done. I might as well tie up the year and get as much of what I plan to do tied up by the end of January as I can, rather than set new goals. It's that review process, it's that having a look and saying, well, that wasn't done, and why wasn't it done? Let me have a look at one specifically. My home. I always sort of go back to my home. On these post-it notes, it's plan the bathroom, plan the passageway, plan the hallway, plan the kitchen, plan for the conservatory. I haven't written any of them plans because we were unsure of what was happening. The plan for moving house would be different to if we were staying, because if we're staying, then it would be decorating and new carpets and that sort of thing. If we were moving, it would be total total declutter, get rid of stuff out of each room, as well as minimal decorating and furnishing. So the plan has changed from us moving to us staying. So we're going to be staying a bit longer, so those plans can now be written because that decision has been made. And I think that's the problem with all of these tasks that I've got on here. Half of it is because decisions haven't been made, and the decisions haven't been made because I haven't had time to sit and do the thinking about in great detail. So the goal for the next quarter, because I'm tired, I'm busy this month, I'll be tired in December, and January is an awful dark, cold, miserable month, is to do the thinking about. I can do that. I can't physically do things because I don't want to, but I can think. My brain will work. I can get these, sit cosily with my hot cocoa, in my nice warm house, and write plans, if that makes sense. So quarter 4 is tying up the year, finishing off all of these outstanding tasks, and if I can't finish the task, do the thinking about the task that needs to be finished. And obviously we're looking at making sure we've got a really good Christmas. I hope that makes sense. Thank you for watching My Craft Orchard, where skills and ideas can grow. I'll see you next time.